Hey folks, Tyler Tamerlane here with Obscurities and Miniatures. Today we're going to look at the Wrath of Kings, Paragons of Wrath. There's a lot of wrath going on, I guess. Paragons of Wrath. They are for the Shale Han faction in Cool Minis, somewhat neglected Wrath of Kings game. So, here you can see our Paragons of Wrath, and they are supposed to be what they call the children, the heavenly children, which are basically ogres that hang out with the Shale Han, which are their Asian, Eastern, mystical faction, basically like a Chinese faction. So with that said, this is supposed to have 4 Paragons of Wrath, and it looks like we have 2 different sculpts, maybe more, I don't know. The males look kind of the same. Oh, I guess not. We'll see. Maybe it is 4 individual sculpts. Why don't I be quiet and we'll find out. Can I open the box? Watch as I play with it. There we go. What's in the box? So, usual complaint. Most of this probably could have fit in a blister and taken up a lot less space. So, 40mm bases, typical deep dish bases, and what looks to be a single unit card for the Paragon of Wrath. The children, as I said, those are the big ogres that hang out with the Shale Han. And they've got melee weapons and a bunch of rules. I believe, is that Christopher Madura art? I don't know. Anyway, let's see the models. You know what? I'm going to grab some scissors. One sec, folks. So, as you can see before us, each figure comes in its own individualized bag with both the regular kind of rustic, plasticky board game plastic body, and then the harder plastic weapons. Now, since only the weapons are actually in the harder plastic, you can't use the model glue and plastic cement. You got to use the actual super glue. Let's take a look at one of the figures. We dump its contents out. So, the male at least, we've got body's pretty well cast. One of the nice things about this kind of material, and I mean, I know these guys came out a little while ago, so there's been upgrades and, you know, newer modifications to whatever formulas they're using to make this stuff look even nicer. But you can see it's a really clean cast, and especially considering this material often leaves a lot of those details out. I mean, even though it's got a bit of a cartoony look, you can see it's pretty easily discernible. You can see all the little rivets and studs in his armor there. So that'll help when it comes to painting. For whatever reason, these guys always have bionic arms. Let's see if we can at least just dry fit them just to get an idea of how big they're going to be. This armor reminds me of like a cross between a, I don't know, Mesoamerican and samurai armor. Let's see if I can just snap that off. Yeah. Alright, so just to give you an idea. Where is my... There you are. Oh, you don't want to stand, darn it. Let's see if we can at least put them on the base to see how that looks. Just to get an idea. So, I mean, these guys are pretty much ogre-sized, in case you aren't familiar, or if I didn't mention it yet. Which I might not have, I don't know. Just to get a good idea of the size there. And the females are about the same size. I'm going to grab one in a little bit. Let me just grab one now. One sec, we'll grab a female one as well. Alright, so we got one of the females just kind of... we had her kind of partially built here. Let's put the hands down. So she's got a pole arm. Actually, they all have pole arms. And rather large shields. Kind of small contact points, but at least there's 2 of them to put the shield on with. Now, I don't like this type of under the arm, kind of weird attachment point, but, you know, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. I don't think her head's all the way. Well, I don't think her head's on at all now, so, and everybody's going to fall over. Okay, thanks a lot. So, female ones tend to be a bit more human looking. I can't tell if she's supposed to have a face mask on or not. It does look like she's got one. Her armor's a lot more ornamental than the male's. She does have both arms, it seems. Now, what's interesting is the basic version of these girls, they have like literally no clothing on at all. So this is kind of definitely an upgrade. I like it though. Again, very samurai looking, but also for whatever reason, maybe because of the top knots and stuff, reminds me of Mesoamerican armor. So there is a bit of a difference in size, and she does have giant platform shoes on. I'm probably going to paint them up just straight up like samurai. I have a couple examples of some painted ones here. I unfortunately do not have any of the females that are painted to a standard I like. So, for whatever reason, yeah, they're red, but that's because they were originally hanging out with my No from Relic Knights. And so these guys probably still going to be the same. I'm probably going to stick with the red skin, gray and blue, not blue, gray and black and purple for their clothing, and then the gold and brass for their armor. And as I said, for their cybernetic, pneumatic, steampunky hands. Why they have those, I don't know. So it's funny because the children are a little bit smaller than the wolves from Wrath of Kings. This is the basic. No, he might be a character specialist model, but I mean, even so, these guys are specialists. And yet, well, I mean, they all are comparable size. Not too much larger than a human, so if you're concerned about way too big of proportion monsters battling it out on your table, I mean, I guess that could be an issue, but considering they're supposed to fit just on 40mm basis, and with the average human these days either on a 25 or 30mm base, they're not all that much larger. So if you're looking for something different, I mean, you can definitely argue that steampunk, samurai, Aztec, gorilla-like, Oni-looking ogres are not your typical run-of-the-mill monsters. So I'm going to get the other two put together, and hopefully, you know, if you're looking for something really different, I don't think you can go much wrong with anything from the Wrath of Kings line, but these guys in particular, they're just so different. Again, we have samurai armor, cybernetic body parts, elaborate Asian-themed armor, and weapons. I mean, he's got like a big monk's type cudgel here. So these have been, again, the Paragons of Wrath from Cool Mini's Wrath of Kings line, from the Shailhan faction specifically. With that, I've been High Lord Tamberlane, and these have been my obscurities and miniatures, saying bye-bye.